Well, tell us how you got cast in Yellowstone. Did Taylor
I was
Sheridan call you up out of the blue, or you know?
I was wrangling on Hell or High Water. He wrote it.
Great film, great film.
Big movie, yeah. And I was riding my own horses, and I've been blessed to know a good horse. My granddad raised good horses in Montana, Al Palmer. And I've been blessed to ride good horses all my life, and I had my own personal good horses on the set. I carry a 50-foot rope and a pack of whip, and the livestock, after a couple takes, they get kind of sour going back and forth in front of camera. And I got to use every loop I knew, my underhand, my overhand, and had to crack the whip on a few of them. And Taylor was watching all of this, and he came to me later on and says there was a couple incidents, like they seen it in Yellowstone where Casey roped the guy in the truck. Well, they moved my truck, and I had horses tied to it. I had dogs in it. I needed that fly spray and different bridles. I had 5 head of horses on the movie. I look up and see my truck going over the hill, and I took off and roped the guy out of the truck. It was my boss, the livestock coordinator. And after I jerked the keys out of the truck, I rode back over next to Taylor, and here comes the livestock coordinator. He's like, he's fired. He won't be here tomorrow. I started laughing at him. I had 30 head of cows leased on the show. I had 10 head of burros. They're riding 5 head of my horses. My dogs are going to work in the movie. There's no way he could fire me. But what was really cool was Taylor Sheridan leans over puts his elbow on my horse, my saddle horn, and says, go try and move my truck and see what happens. I think, all right, partner. And the next day he told me, he said, I'm writing this Western and you're going to have a part in it. And I said, yeah, I've heard that BS before. Not from me, you haven't. And I said, you're right. And me and Taylor I don't know, I'm sure you've had the experience where you've met somebody and when you shake hands, it's like old friends, hey, where you been? And that's the way it was with me and Taylor. It was like when we shook hands, we were old buddies. And then that little incident, and he stood up for me, and he was a man of his word. I'll guarantee it. He called me almost 6 months later, sent me a text. I was driving 4 head of mules on a stagecoach on another movie, and I get a text, and I looked at it. It's from Taylor. And I just got done doing the scene and drove the mules back to the trailer, and I told the wranglers I was with, I said, just tie them up. I got to check this text I got. I said, then we'll unhook. And I pulled the text out. It says, pack your bags, cowboy. We're going to Utah, Montana. I sold the Western. He didn't even know that I had experience as an actor and stuff until I did the screen test. And I did the screen test, and with modern technology, by the time I got back to the house, he had gotten all my audition, and he called me. Who would have thought you could act? He said, well, I've been acting my way in and out of bad situations all my life, Taylor. I couldn't act. He said, okay, and it just started from there. And after I got on set, my part kind of started expanding, and he told me, as long as I got anything to do with Yellowstone, you'll be on.
Well, I have to tell you, our readers are quite fond of you. And, the episodes where you kind of, you kind of got brutalized. We had people, posting on Facebook, oh no, that's not right. That's not right. They shouldn't have done that to him. I mean, did you have people coming up to you like, I don't know, in the line at the grocery store or whatever, say, they shouldn't have hit you like that?
Oh yeah,
It doesn't matter if you broke his guitar. You know, that's not right.
I had them tell me they were fixing to quit watching the show, and oh yeah, they oh, we thought you were fixing to go to the train station and we're gonna have to quit watching. Yeah, I was really honored by the people's reactions, and how much love they showed me over the deal. And well, and my deal is it was good entertainment though, wasn't it? And they go, yeah, oh yeah, we love what's happening. I said, that's Taylor Sheridan. He's gonna make it entertaining for you. I says, I don't know what's gonna happen next season, but I'm ready for it.
Taylor plays his cards pretty close to the vest, doesn't he? As far as I've talked to several people involved with the series, and it's like, I don't know what's going to happen, next week. I've had a couple say, I read the last page just to make sure I haven't been killed off, and that's about it.
Yeah, you never know, and that's one of the beauties of the show, is it keeps you glued to the TV. I had to tell my mom. My mom would call me on Mondays. Hey, well, what happened here? What happened there? I tell her, Mom, I told you, you can't be ironing or washing dishes or anything during the show. Now tell your friends and stuff that are calling and questioning you that you got to stay hooked. My mom won't. She turns the volume down. She won't cut the vulgar language. But she says it's still beautiful to watch. But her friends will call her. That's what I tell them. Hey, this ain't a show you can be ironing.
Indeed.
You got to stay hooked on it.
Well, can you think of an episode or two this past season where you wish you would have had a bottle of your signature brand, adult beverage nearby because, oh wow, that was grueling.
Not really. You get on, at least for me, I get on set and I'm get pretty focused and I'm not thinking about whiskey or, unless it's cold out on my, but no.
But afterwards, after you did the scene, it's like, oh man, I could sure use a shot right now. I mean, this is intense.
Yeah. Well, most of it's intense. With Taylor, you got to read between the lines, and it gets pretty intense. But oh yeah, I'll have a little shot waiting for me in my dressing room, or when I get back to my house or motel room. It's funny how you'll build all this energy up, and boy, you'll feel tired. You're like, oh, I want to sleep good tonight. And then you get in your dressing room and start relaxing, and adrenaline's still seeping through. And then you get back to your hotel room and you're like, and yeah, you can have a shot, a couple beers, relax you. And especially now, thank you God and Taylor Sheridan, that my part has expanded to where I'm working 4 and 5 days a week. You got to get home, get to bed, and get ready for the next day. And yeah, I'll have me a toddy.
Well, you're entitled. You're entitled after a hard day's work.
I'm really proud of Oak and Eden, what they've done with me and with my Anthro series. We we donated enough money to Shriners Children's Hospital last year. We generated enough money from my portion of my blend to put 20 kids on prosthetics at Shriners.
Oh, that's great.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, sir.
Without my fans, but to think of that, and this year we're going to put 50 of them.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Has anyone come up to you yet and asked you to autograph a bottle
Oh,
of the
man.
brand?
One night at the Flagship in Bridgeport, Texas, where Eden's Flagship store is at, we did a meet and greet. It was supposed to be for 3 hours. And I won't leave anybody standing.
Mhm.
I do these things and people have been standing there for 2 hours and then they want me to leave. I'm like, no, this, you know, I was there. I was supposed to leave at 9. I was there till 11:30. I signed over 500 bottles that night. Yeah, people just kept coming.
Mhm. Mhm.
Finally, at 11 o'clock, they shut the doors and snuck me out the back door. There was people in line, but they had just got there. You know, other people with modern, you know, this technology, people, oh, he's here, he's nice, and they got our bottle signed, and then the neighbors would come. Yeah, I've signed over 500 bottles that night. So yeah, I've signed a few bottles. I got a I was in Beaumont, Texas.
Yes.
Meet and greet at a liquor store there, and this little gal comes up, and you could tell she was well off, and she hands me her bottle, wants me to sign her bottle. I'm signing her bottle. She says, well, how do you like being a show pony? I said, I love being a show pony. I says, I've got 20 little kids that I've generated to help generate the money to put her running around on prosthetics that I generated the money for. Next year, I'm going to put 50 kids on prosthetics.
That's wonderful.
I said, what have you done for society?
That's it.
She was gone. And so, yeah, I don't mind when I can do something good like that and help somebody. It's you know, it's an honor. To me, it's an honor to be able to do that and help my fellow Americans. And
Oh, yes.
I think,
Well, now, are you already working on another blend?
well, we were talking about that yesterday. We might be. We'll see. Well, right now, they're really just getting rolling with this one. We got to get it distributed in a lot more states. Montana's, they haven't been able to get it up there yet, and they're screaming for it. Montanans, they're backing me on all my plays. So we'll get this one rolling and see what happens next year. Keep this one going. Hopefully, yeah, good people and you know, they got it right on the box. Thank God for good whiskey. So you know where their hearts are at, and they're helping me, and Shriners is backing me. So it's just the door's wide open. Rock and roll. We'll see what happens.
That's terrific. Well, finally, every person I've ever talked to who's been involved with, you know, either a vintage Western or a contemporary Western has told me that, well, let's put it this way. There are actors who lie about their resume because they want a gig. They want to roll. And I said, can you ride a horse? Oh, I was born on a horse. You know, I can ride all day long. And the first day of filming, they fall off the horse. I mean, or it's obvious they've never been on a horse before. They're very uncomfortable. I mean, you can go all the way back to the silent movie era, the Great Train Robbery. And if you look very carefully, there's one guy who's, you know, one of the train robbers who looks like he's praying that someone will give him a step ladder to get on his horse. I mean, it's terrible. How often when you're on, you know, Yellowstone or other projects you worked on, where the first day of filming you've thought, oh God, this guy has got not going to, and all the bourbon, all the whiskey on the world won't make him or her comfortable on the horse.
I've seen it working as a wrangler, and that's how I started in the business as a wrangler. And yeah, we've seen it a lot. We're doing riding tests. There's sometimes I wouldn't even let them get on the horse. You know, they walk up and go to put the wrong foot in the stirrup, or they don't grab the reins, you know, before they get on it. I'm like, hey, well, you don't need to waste the horse. You're done, you know. And they get quite indignant about it, but you know, you can tell when, and a horse will tell you too. If you know your horses, and some guy walks up and he's nervous and scared, that horse will give him a look or cock an ear at him, and you take a better look at him. But usually your actors that have the parts, they come in pre-production and they learn how to ride, and we take them and ride them around. I like to, and I've had them, oh, I can ride. I'm like, okay, come follow me. And when I worked at Old Tucson and was wrangling out of there, with a lot of country around to ride, and I'd make them follow me. Well, the next day they can't hardly walk, and they're like, I thought you could ride. Well, I don't know. Well, maybe you better just watch me a little closer and listen to me, because I don't think you can ride. Sore and hurting. I says, I seen your butt bouncing in the saddle yesterday. That's not riding. So yeah, it happens a lot. People want the part, but your bigger parts, the wranglers work with them and get them ready. And then like Jason Rodriguez, our stunt coordinator on Yellowstone, he's really good about doubles. He has all his guys can ride. He's a good cowboy, good hand, and he knows what's what when it comes to that. And they'll double them, you know, if there's any danger or something serious needs being done, he'll get a double, stick on the horse. You know, it's camera magic. The last show I did with James Arness, movie of the week, Gunsmoke. You know, he had that boat blow up in the war with him and hurt his feet. So he had bad feet. The only time it was actually really James was when he was talking. And otherwise it was a double for walking, riding the horse, everything. And they can get doubles that look just like him. And a good stunt double will watch you, like the one kid that Scott kid that doubles me. He'll walk like me, he rides like me, and you know, that's a good stunt double. And when I was doubling people, that's what I did too. I watched how they walked, watched how they rode, and it always amazed me. My mom could always pick me out. Doubling somebody else, I'd be riding like they did, and she'd be like, "Oh, I knew which one you were."
So you're always trying to impress mom, your toughest critic, huh?
Oh yeah. But you know, that's a good stunt double. We'll do that. We'll watch, you know, and it's pretty cool. And Jason Rodriguez, he has all good hands. They watch, they know the business.
Well, finally, and I know this is like asking you who's your favorite child, but the cast of Yellowstone, you know, who do you think you'd want the most on like a cattle drive with you? Who do you think, yeah, if I'm gonna ride and rope for or rodeoing or rodeoing, rodeoing? Well, who would you say? Yeah, I want this person on the horse next to me.
Kind of putting me against the wall here, because we got Jake Reams and Ethan Lee. They're in the bunkhouse with us, and they're good hands. They're cowboys. They team rope stuff. Ryan Bingham rode bulls and team ropes and stuff. So, but if you want to go with the main cast, it would be Cole Hauser. Cole is very athletic. He's a thinker. He watches, and he wouldn't get in the way. You know, one of the best ranch jobs I ever had in Texas. That's the guy asked me what I knew about working cows, and I said I know enough to stay out of the way. And, that would be Cole. He would bail in there when he could and do what he could, and stay out of the way when he didn't know what was going on. But we're lucky enough to have Jake Reams, Ethan Lee, and Ryan Bingham, and they all been around. They rope. They're good hands. So.
Well, I'm sure you've given everyone in the cast a bottle of your new brew, right? And they've
it scares them. Luke Grimes, he says, "Oh, this stuff's too good." I said, "What?" He says, "Yeah, this is the kind you wake up with an empty bottle in the morning on the floor." I haven't been able to get through a full bottle yet. So
I can know why. I know how the gent might feel.
And it's 116 proof, and
Woo!
so it don't take. I don't think it take a whole bottle.
No. That's something you say for special occasions, like when you're talking to a great gent. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's sold at Okaneden, and they have a website. It's okaneden.com/Forrie, and you can order my bottles there. They're $84 a bottle off the website. Like I said earlier, I'm the one that came up with the blend. I picked the American oak to be infused with the coffee, and it's a barrel-aged bourbon, 116 proof, and it's good stuff.
And it's for a good cause. It's for a good cause.
And a good cause. I think we figured it's like $5 a bottle goes to Shriners Children's Hospital.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great.
How I came up with Shriners is Shriners and St. Jude's are great organizations. But there's a doctor in Ennis, Montana named Ron Losey, Dr. Ron Losey.
Ron. Mm-hmm. And last name?
Losey, Lossee.
Okay.
He rebuilt my right knee. And my right knee is stronger and in better shape now than my left knee that's never had any operations.
Mm-hmm.
When Doc passed away, I said I was going to donate some money to Shriners because he donated his time and did operations for him, and was a great champion for the Shriners. And you know how things are. One thing led to another, and I never got any money donated to Shriners in Doc Losey's name. And this deal came up. I was like, you know what? This is my chance to give back to Doc and the Shriners. And so that's how this all came about with Shriners Children's Hospital. I donate the money in Dr. Ron Losey's name. He is a character, a great man. He lived in Ennis, Montana. He operated on numerous football stars. Like Joe Namath wanted him to rebuild his knees. Mm-hmm. And he rented a whole floor at a New York hospital. Dr. Losey's like, "No, you want me to operate on you? You come out here to Ennis." The hospital was 5 rooms, 2 people in each room, but you could smell the cooking. It was home. I mean, it was just like home cooking. It was great. And they took care of you, but that wasn't good enough for Joe. So, but that's the kind of guy he was. He was really good at what he did. So I'm glad to be able to honor him and give back to him.
Well, thank you for your time, sir. I've enjoyed your brew, and I'm looking forward to season 5 of Yellowstone.
Dude,
And don't be busting up anybody's guitar now again, because you might get taken to the train station, man.
You just never know what Taylor might. I told him the other day, I stopped and visited with him. And I was like, this has really been bothering me this season 5. You guys postponed it because you're shooting 1883. And I've been sitting here on the fence wondering, what are you going to do to me now in season 4? I says, you got me beat up by everybody in season 4, made a buckle bunny out of me in season 3. And I says, all the suspense of what you're going to do with me in season 5. And he just laughed and says, I'm turning up the heat in season 5. So I don't know what. Yeah. I'm anxious to find out.
Oh gosh. Well, we're all going to tune in. We're all going to tune in. Thank you very much, sir, for the words, and thank you for the
good whiskey,
adult beverage.
You're very welcome. Y'all, thank y'all. I appreciate it. I'm honored to be here, and thank God.
Hey, any day above ground's a good one.
Yes, sir. I was at the national finals, and old colored bull rider Abe Morris, he's come walking by, and I was like, hey man, how are you doing? He's, oh man, I haven't seen you in years. It's good to see you again. I said, yeah, it's good to be seen. He goes, it's good to be seen and not viewed, ain't it?
That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
Yes.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Joe.